residing in Australia. TK Maidza is a rapper from Zimbabwe who has recently gotten a lot of shine, got a lot of attention due to this EP here. Last year was Weird Volume 2. She is hungry, she is fiery, she is ready to show us what she is made of on this new EP here, because there is a massive difference, a night and day difference between this EP and the Volume 1 of last year was Weird. I did check it out in hopes that I'd find something really enjoyable out of it, but unfortunately Volume 1 didn't do much for me at all. So going into Volume 2, I must admit, I was a little shaky and a little hesitant because, again, it's been getting a lot of attention, far more attention than she's gotten in the past. Even though she does have an album under her belt so far, I was still a bit unsure whether I'd be into it, because obviously when you don't like one project from an artist, you go into another kind of thinking you're probably not going to be as into it, just as a general rule. But I will say that there is a lot more going for this EP here than Volume 1. This is really good. I've been playing it quite a bit over the past week or so, and each time I'm finding little bits and bobs about each track that I gravitate towards and find really enjoyable. At first there were a few tracks that I was a bit met on, but as time's gone on, tracks like Grasshopper, for example, has only grown on me more and more. Generally across this EP, she has this super strong hook game, which is working massively in her favor, because these tracks have so much to offer in terms of versatility, because she's rapping with this really fiery flow on some of these tracks. She's rapping over some of these really banging beats, and she can also provide a really strong chorus too. She's checking all the boxes. She has a lot to offer, and I think she's proving herself really well at a pretty young age as well on this album. Oh well, EP. Her flow is fucking great on 24K. She is just spitting so hard on this track. The beat, again, I think is so fantastic too. She's just bringing it, man. She's bringing it. I think the best beat though on this crop of tracks here is Shook. I think this is by far the best beat here. This beat is so bloody good. It's like a cross between something Pharrell or the Neptunes would do on like a 2000s hit song, and then you cross that with Injury Reserve with their track See You Sweat. Like, if you listen to See You Sweat and this track, they kind of have a similar like flow to them. It's really quite cool. It's got this braggadocious as hell energy on this track too. She's exuberating massive amounts of swagger here. She just is so like, there's something about it that you just can't not look away. Like, the way she's rapping here is just so engaging. She just commands this track. It's so good. Then you've got the more industrial tracks like friggin' Awake with JPEG Mafia on this track too, which is a huge feature as well, I think, for her at this stage in her career. But the beat here, man, is so grimy and dirty. Like I say, it's so industrial, and just the clanging of everything coming together just makes it sound like a new level for what she was already doing on this EP. Like, she's really stretching her abilities and her sound really well here. I think the minor issue with this track though is the hook. I just think the hook here is pretty weak. Like, it's rare when you get a hook on a track that's the worst part of the song, but I think this is an example of that, because I'm just way more interested in the verses. Peggy's verse I think is great too, but when it gets to late night probably awake, but probably awake, I'm just not as engaged with it. Peggy on this track though, he is ridiculous, man. He's borderline terrifying, honestly. He's terrifying on this track. He's ready to smack you in the face. I like that one line as well, where he says, you know, he never gets chart success, but he's always, you know, smashing out the hits. He's kind of right, to be fair. He's kind of right. The momentum of this great little stretch of tracks in terms of how good the bloody beats are keeps going though, because you get Grasshopper next, that same type of industrial flair coming through here. But yeah, like Shook, Awake, going into Grasshopper 2, that's a great 3-track stretch in terms of how good these beats are. She's just proven herself, man. Coming out with these kind of beats is impressive as hell. And then you've got You Sad, which I think is a nice change of pace, but a weird one too, because it's just like nothing else here. It's just got this kind of like pop flair to it. It definitely feels like the one hit, I guess you could call it, out of the whole EP. Like if there's anything that's going to go super viral and get super successful, it would be this one. Got quite a nice R&B flavor to this one, showing really that she's got more to offer than just one thing. Like this EP is so diverse that she's bringing in tracks like this and tracks like My Flowers too, which is sort of similar, and making them work in the context of an EP that includes a JPEG Mafia feature and a song like friggin' Grasshopper and a song like Shook. But as much as I am really enjoying this EP, I do feel like PB Jam is a weaker track. This is one of the tracks that highlights how amateur-ish some of her lyrics come across. I feel like a lot of the tracks I'm focusing more on how she's rapping and how she's flowing and how great the beats are, rather than her actual lyrics, because as you know, she's good, but she's not exactly dropping lines that are particularly spectacular. She's not exactly sticking to topics in a particularly concise way. I'm just wondering whether this EP is showing a lot of her abilities, but the one thing that is kind of missing is that last little added touch of the lyrics. Makes me excited to see where she's going to go though, because I don't think this is the best she's got in her. I feel like as great as a lot of these tracks are, there's more to come, and that gets me excited actually, because I feel like she is going to get more and more popular, and I'm interested to see where she takes this, you know. I really like this. It's definitely one of the better EPs I've heard across this year. But I know there's more. There's more coming. I feel like this is not the peak of her music career. That she's going to keep getting better. I can see it. But yeah, as I said, liking this a lot. Definitely think she's got a bright future. Hoping that people latch onto her based on this EP too. And yeah, definitely a highlight for EPs in 2020. Hopefully you enjoy it as much as I do. If you like it more than me, let me know. If you like it less than me, if you don't think it's that good, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you for watching my review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a good day and goodbye.